Hello, my name is Chris, and in this video I want to go over a game that I have been designing and developing. This is not a devlog, so if you're in this for the long run, don't expect there to be one unless for some reason I just decide that I want to keep iterating on this game. This video is really just to go over my design of this game and maybe just some of the code. There will be several videos, as this is really intended for just portfolio pieces, I guess. So let's jump into it. So this game is a variation of the 52 card game called Rummy. More specifically, it's a variation of Rummy 500. So I'll go ahead and just start the game and show you what it's all about, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So at the beginning of Rummy, all the cards are taken and shuffled, and 13 cards are dealt out to every player, and a single discarded card is placed face up in the discard pile. And we can see right here, right off the bat, we see 25 cards left in this face down pile, which is called the stock, which we can draw from, and we can also draw from the discard pile. So we see that the system discarded a card here. We have 13 cards here at the bottom, so these are all the 13 cards that were dealt to me. Above our enemy character here on the right, we see a card deck with the number 13. These are the enemy cards, and so total that creates 52 cards. So how to play Rummy 500, how we're going to start playing in this game anyways, is I'm going to play sets of cards or matches of cards called melds. Melds are 3 or more cards that create matches. Matches being either sets, so cards, and again I said 3 or more. So I have 2 7s here, so if I had 3 7s, that would be a set. I have 2 8s right here. If I had 3 8s, that would be a set, but I don't have any sets in my hand, so I can't play any sets. So it's, again, 3 or more cards of the same rank, if you wanted to see it that way, and rank being this top symbol, character number here on the top of the card. Runs are another kind of meld that are sequential, so it's the same suit, being diamonds, hearts, clubs, or spades. All the cards have to be the same suit but are sequential in rank. We can see right here in my diamonds, I have a 7, 8, and 9 that are sequential, so they go in order and it's non-breaking and continuous. I do not have a run here because I have a 3 and a 5 of diamonds, but I need a 4 in between the 3 and the 5 to make that a run. Just like I don't have a run from the 5 to the 7 because I need a 6 between there. But this 7, 8, and 9 is sequential. I also have a set here, this set of clubs, because again these are ranked. Aces are low, and then we have jacks, which are 11, queens are 12, and kings are 13. So really I have a 10, 11, and a 12 here. Let's go ahead and play our melds on our equipment. So we drag our cards over our equipment slots, and we click our equipment to play the meld. When I play the meld, the card effect, the equipment effect that's on this equipment card is played out, and we see that it does 6 damage. We saw 6 damage was applied to the health. And then we also see the meld was placed face up on what I call the end zone, but if you were playing in real life, it would be the table or the game board. You just place your meld face up for everybody to see. And so we see that played here. And I'll go ahead and play this other meld on this bottom equipment card of this pistol. What's 5? What am I doing? 8, 9. So I'll play that. And it drew 3 cards for me out of the stock, and it also did 3 damage. So we see the Enemy has lower health. And then we see that that meld was played in the end zone here, and we see it face up. Now we also notice that the pistol became disabled. And in order to re-enable the pistol, we have to play this single card equipment card called Reload Pistol. In order to play this heal or this reload pistol on either side, we have to play a single card that matches or continues a meld that's already played. That may be confusing right now, but let's just go ahead and continue and see what happens. So in order to end my turn, I have to discard. For no real reason, I'm just going to discard any card. I'll do this 2 of diamonds. And we see that the enemy played some cards in his equipment card, his cards in his hand lowered, and now we see the meld that he played in his end zone. And then we kind of go back to my turn and we see what we can do now. So before I draw a card, I want to see, all right, are there any discarded cards that I can play, that I can take, that match up to either my hand, his end zone, or my end zone? His already played melds or my already played melds? And the answer is no. No, there's not. So for now, I'm going to... I could almost take this 10 of hearts, but I don't have a queen of hearts. If I had a 9 of hearts or a queen of hearts, then I would have a run, but I don't have one. So I'm going to draw from the stock, and hopefully it gives me something useful, which I don't think it did. It gives me something close. So I have a 4 of clubs and 5 of clubs, but I don't have a sequential run there. And I also have a set. So if I click this set button to organize and set, I do have 2 5s. But again, I really can't do anything. Now, what I really want to be careful of as well is when I go to discard, I want to make sure that I'm not discarding to allow any possible melds to take place in the discard, because he will find them. So let's go ahead and discard maybe this 3. I don't want to do that. Let's do it anyways. I don't want to do it initially because all it would take would be for him to have a 4 of diamonds or an ace of diamonds for him to want to take these 2 cards here. He grabbed a card. He couldn't play anything. He has this 6 he discarded. I can't do anything with that. Let's draw from the stock. Now I drew another 9, which is pretty good. But notice I drew that 9 of hearts. Now I can play that 9 of hearts in 1 of 2 ways. It depends on your strategy, you know, and it depends on the other cards in your hand. If I play the 9 as just a set of 9s, you know, that's fine. And at the very worst, you know, the enemy can only play another 9 off of my 9s. But actually, I see that I already have a 9 played, so I shouldn't worry about the enemy possibly playing a 9 against my 9s. But here's the real strategy. If I play it as a run, I have an opportunity to continually play layoffs against a run up to 13 cards if I have them. Because, you know, like if I had a 5 of hearts, I could play a 5 of hearts on the enemy's run over here, and then a 6 of hearts and a 7 of hearts, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm kind of limiting myself to possible layoffs if I even lay off just sets instead of runs. But they are still useful. So I'm still just going to do this run here, this 7, 8, and 9, because that's just, sometimes it's how I prefer it. And then I'm going to discard. All right, I'm just going to discard this 4 of clubs. Of course he took it. We did see a little warning here of just some it was an initial debug error that I threw for a reason. We're not going to go over that now, but in another video, we'll talk about some of the bugs I'm still trying to overcome with this game. All right, so he discarded this 10. Or excuse me, this Queen of Hearts. Let's go ahead and select. Let's select all the cards because he has that 10 of Heart. There was that 10 of Heart at the bottom, and then there's that Queen of Hearts. So I have a couple options I can do here. I'm going to play this 6 of Hearts just to reload my pistol. So I'm going to play that 6 of Hearts off of this meld. And we saw the 6 of Hearts got put into the end zone on that meld. And it re-enabled my pistol. But I still have a lot of opportunity here. I want to go ahead and, you know, we could just go ahead and kill him. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have a 10, Jack, Queen, and a King. You know, so this equipment, if I just do the 3-card minimum, which by the way, I'll just to show you that it validates. If I don't want to do that. If I just put 1 card in there for the run and I click on it, it won't do it. If I do that for end zone cards, it will use it. It will use it because there's only a 1 card requirement. So it has to validate immediately if you play an end zone card. But these center equipment cards, they don't validate immediately against anything except themselves because you don't play equipment cards against the end zones. So if I select it, it doesn't do anything. If I put the Jack in there, it doesn't do anything. But if I put that Queen in there and I click on it, it'll validate that I have a minimum 3-card run. But I want to go above and beyond and just do maximum damage for 12 damage. And there we go. I killed the enemy and I have a victory. And that's pretty much the core gameplay loop. Now, what helped me a tremendous amount in making this game was, one, I want to mention that creating this prototype only took me a little over 40 hours, maybe 50 hours total. And then I put about another week's worth, maybe less, maybe 20 hours into a little bit of game balancing and UI updates just to make the UI look a little more pretty. But it really wasn't a lot of time. And the only way I was able to do that was by putting together this very short game design document. It's very simple. You know, it's only 7 pages. The first page really just being an overview of the core mechanic, which we saw. You know, players fight against opponents by placing matching sets of 3 or more cards called melds into equipment slots. This activates the equipment and the equipment can be used. Talking about the pillars, really this first page wasn't the most important, but it was vital that I just had these terms to know written down somewhere, which this could lend itself to a possible tutorial and then also an index, an in-game index that you can look up. But really what was beneficial for me was putting down this gameplay portion in the game design document. Where I talk about the gameplay loop, this core gameplay loop is really what we saw. We collect melds, we played melds against each other until one of us dies. Later on, if I decide I want to keep iterating on this game, I'm going to have a couple more supporting gameplay loops, which will be, running through matches, win a match, gain loot, get more equipment, do whatever with your loot, and go to your next match. And so that supports the primary gameplay loop. And so does the next one. So really it's like the more higher level gameplay loop, which is navigate to the next point on the map, play matches, or interact with merchants, gain character abilities, stuff like that. And again, that will eventually support the core gameplay loop, because what we're going for is a lot of variation in this core gameplay loop and how we can continuously add agency, player agency to this core gameplay loop. Because Just like Dicey Dungeons, which, if you haven't guessed, this game plays pretty much the same as Dicey Dungeons, except it uses 52 card Rummy, 500 instead of dice. You're at the whims of randomness in this game. You know, I've played through Dicey Dungeons a few times, and just by not having the right equipment and right dice, you know, I would die. But the way in Dicey Dungeons, you know, they add player agency, even if you don't really have a sense of agency through 2 turns or even 3 turns, is they have this kind of special ability, this golden button, and each character has a different special ability. And so that's how they add more agency. And so that's kind of what's going to have to happen at some point is this game that I'm designing is going to have more things to support that agency, because there are times where a couple rounds go by where neither myself nor the enemy or the opponent play any melds. And that can be boring in any game. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching the video. Again, this is not a devlog unless maybe there's some energy in me to want to keep developing, but there will definitely be more videos just going over this design. And I want to show some game process or some code that I have created, what my code looks like, prototype versus non-prototype, I guess. And here's the Unity project itself, just to show you that I didn't like gyp this off of anything. Oh, I guess I edited some scripts, so it's trying to figure itself out. But you can see our guys in the window there. Well, why isn't it loading? Here we go. And we hit play. Again, all these assets and audio for free, or a budget less than $10. So I feel like that's pretty good. There we go. And I have this reset board button here just to help with development stuff. All right, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll get to see some more videos. Thanks, bye.